I'm gonna be quick, since I don't have much time, alright? I'm gonna be flat out and honest with you. It all started with my girlfriend moving in with me after we hit our first year as a couple. She wasn't into marriage and neither was I, so of course we weren't planning on getting any farther than this anytime soon. This was a huge step into our relationship. It was basically our way of saying we truly accept all our fetishes and faults and habits, and one of my girlfriend's fetishes were cats. She loved cats, and she used to say, if you don't like cats, I don't like you, although, because I hate cats to the point that I'd actually rather run myself over with a bulldozer than live with one up and personal, it was proven she didn't mean it when she said that. But, basically, you get the point. She absolutely adored cats. And since now that we had finally gotten our own place and accepted all our traits, now, apparently, I had to deal with a cat. Now, she knows I hate cats, so she did agree to lock our cat in this separate room in our house when it's time to sleep and when I'm home alone. Those were her ground rules, and I frankly didn't have a problem. The room she planned to lock the cat in was actually a room I'd never find myself using. It was the closest to the backyard, glass walls surrounding it, so it looked more like an attached greenhouse than anything. Anyhow, this isn't the point. The only thing you need to know is we were getting a cat, and the walls were see-through. It was about 3 months ago when we finally decided it was time to go to the shelter and pick up one of those demonic live furballs. I didn't complain too much. It was only rare times like these where I'd see my girlfriend so happy. Seems like telling on myself there. Anyway, by the time we got to the shelter, there weren't that many cats. The guy in front claimed that cats were quite popular in this part of town, so it was actually really surprising there were some left. My girlfriend, not caring about anything besides the idea of getting her own cat, quickly made her way over to the section. I didn't follow too fast. In fact, I didn't even want to follow at all. When I reached my girlfriend, however, she was staring intently at a certain cage that stood out to her more than the others. I knew that what she was staring at would be the pet we took home, so I braced myself to see what I'd be spending my life with. And I was shocked. Literally, 100% shocked. You see, my girlfriend likes cats for their optimism and the will to play and cuddle. Those are all really she looks for in a cat, and this one cat that had managed to stuff itself into the far corner of its given litter box definitely did not have those qualities. The cat itself was actually quite fluffy, its unusual reddish-orange colored fur sticking out in inwardly places. Its ears were folded in and practically buried in the fur, so it looked earless, and its bright blue eyes narrowed at me. I glanced over to my girlfriend and asked her if she was sure. She didn't answer, so I looked again, this time a bit more stern. The last thing I needed was a pissy cat that was only in my house for the luxury. The second time, she merely nodded, as if in a trance. I sighed and made my way back to the employee. "Hey, man," I had said. "She wants that red one that has made a nest in its litter box." He blinked, an unsure look on his face, and looked down into the hallway where my girlfriend stood still, looking at the cat.
Red cat? I don't believe we have one of those.
I wasn't in the mood to play any games, so I promptly told him to go see for himself and name the price so I could get out of that hellhole as soon as possible. He didn't have any hesitation to move around the counter and get the cat. The second he opened the cage, my girlfriend leaped to the cat and gathered it up in her arms. It didn't move, it just kept that damned frown. While I was signing the papers in an uncomfortable silence, the employee decided to speak up.
That's strange.
He had laughed uneasily.
That cat was bought yesterday.
It obviously wasn't, if it's here now.
You're right. Must have been my imagination.
He rubbed the back of his neck before turning to get the paperwork. He turns around and peeks at the cat sitting in my girlfriend's lap.
You guys sure about it? I mean, I'm more of a dog person, so I don't really know much about cats, but that cat looks like a pain.
I huffed in agreement and continued signing the papers. Whatever she wants, I promised her that. He sighed and handed me the finalized certificate and a list of things we needed to get for that stupid feline, medication-wise.
I'm guessing you don't like cats.
He smirked. Hate them, I replied, before going to my girlfriend. The cat's eyes followed me as I went over to her and offered to help her up, but she shook her head and got up with ease, cat still in her hands. She didn't talk the whole car ride. I guess I should have started to be concerned at that point, but strangely, I wasn't. That was 3 months ago, and my girlfriend's actions have only gotten worse. They started with, "The cat doesn't like when you sit there," and "The cat doesn't like when you touch that" lectures. I thought it was just her cat-loving problem, but boy, was I wrong. After 1 month of that demon cat had passed, the whole "for the cat" got worse. She was then buying movies and clothes and literal human mattresses for the cat. Eventually, the glass room had more and more stuff that was totally irrational for a cat, like 14 potted plants and 5 bowls for 5 different kinds of drinks. And here's the weird thing. The cat didn't use any of it. It just sat there on the floor, not moving. At least when it was locked in there. That brings me to that damned cat. When my girlfriend wasn't there worshipping that stupid animal like it was her lord and savior, it was locked up just like she promised. I was glad at first. I avoided the room at all costs, camping out in our bedroom on my laptop until she got home. But one day, I had to go get some water. And then I saw it. The damn cat was smiling at me. Its eyes were no longer scrunched in an angry expression. They were wide like any normal happy cat's eyes would be. Its tail swished from side to side slowly. I'd never seen that cat eat before, so I wouldn't have known for sure, but it looked like it had human teeth. Not pointed teeth like cats usually had. This cat had a grin stretched from one ear to the other, its full set of adult human teeth shining at me. I thought it was just my imagination like any normal person would. That cat was the world's grumpiest living thing on this planet, and I'd be shit. I can't say that one either. If I didn't say I wasn't a little spooked. That smile looked so real. I should have known. By month 2, my girlfriend had gotten worse, and I was deeply considering telling her to get rid of that cat. I can't say that either. She was now taking it out to the store with us, and on late-night car rides to get ice cream and listen to music to vent out our hate on work or people we are forced to associate with. She even once, and a while, changed our favorite station on the radio, saying, "The cat doesn't like this song." And that leads us to now. The cat still smiles, but my girlfriend no longer does. She's like a zombie. No emotion, and her voice is always so monotone. The only feeling I've ever received from her is anger. And that's only because we argue over that cat. For example, 2 weeks ago, we've lost so much money, we're barely hanging on the expenses for this house. And all because she decided to buy that of a pet, a flat screen TV. Pardon my French, I can't say any of that. Basically, saying my girlfriend worships this cat. And now the girlfriend I love is gone. It was last week on Thursday, and the first body appeared in our pool. It was our neighbor. I had immediately called up my girlfriend and told her. She was so calm, so totally unfazed. I should have figured it out then, after the long, rushed speech I made about how we needed to call the police, or at least tell someone. She replied, the cat didn't like her, and hung up. I knew my girlfriend had killed our neighbor, and I was scared. I didn't want to lose my girlfriend. She meant so much to me. So I let this slide, thinking this would only be a one-time thing. It wasn't a one-time thing. 2 days later, my girlfriend's boss appeared, floating face first in the bloodied water. I turned into the house, hands balled in rage when I saw it. The f***ing cat, I can't say that, was smiling at me. This time more devilish, its eyes narrowed, its smile wider than before. When my girlfriend got home, I asked her about it. Her hand was still on the doorknob to the cat's threshold when she turned and said in the same cold voice she had said over the phone. He didn't like the cat. The cat didn't like him either. From the corner of my eye, the cat smirked at me before turning its frozen, grumpy glare when my girlfriend opened the door and picked it up in that weird, gentle way she always used. And that's when I figured it out. My girlfriend's goal in life was to always make people happy. And that cat knew it. It just knew. It knows. So it was unhappy on purpose to make her spoil it. It used her weakness to manipulate it. I swear. Call me crazy. Don't believe me. I don't care. I know it's true, and that's enough for me. It's enough to let me rest in peace. I don't think the door will withstand my girlfriend anymore. She was always so good at kickboxing. It's funny, isn't it? This is kind of like one of those horror movies we used to watch and make fun of. That crazy girlfriend killing her boyfriend. Better yet, killing over something stupid. It doesn't matter. It won't matter to her. Why should it matter to me? I was always on her side. And if she decides to kill me, then I'm not gonna stop her. After all, the cat didn't like me.